2 of day 5 of the NBL Blitz here on the Gold Coast. Joel Peterson, NBL champion Pete Hawley with you. It is the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix taking on the Sydney Kings. Both of these teams have got plenty to play for. The last time we saw them matched up, Pete, was in the regular season. The back end of last year, it was a 55-point win for the Sydney Kings. I've got a feeling you won't see that tonight.
Well, yeah, we can't look into that whatsoever. I mean, being a different season, but just completely different rosters on both sides. It is a literal clean out of both. And I am very much looking forward to this. One, the way the Kings have been playing have been very fun to watch and dissect how they're going to go about it. But two, from all reports and talking to the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, this is the one game they've picked this week to have a real crack at it before next week. So they only played Derek Bolden Jr. 15 minutes, Sobey around 18 minutes game one. They haven't played a lot in the preseason before that. They've had all eyes on this one. Give it a red-hot crack is probably going to get around 28, 30 minutes out of those guys. And then they'll kind of put the cue in the rack, I think, for the rest of the week and get ready for round one.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Don't think Nathan Sobey was playing later in the week, so he's all out attack tonight as they get set for their pre-season. Of course, they open things up against the Perth Wildcats in a couple of weeks. We've got a busy broadcast as well. So Chris Pongrass, the CEO of the Sydney Kings, is going to join us right off the top. Bruce Bolden will join us. His son Jonas just played for the New Zealand Breakers. And DJ Vasiljevic, who was just out here, is going to join us in commentary for most of the game as well. So we'll have plenty of other voices coming through the call.
Yeah, it's part of the Blitz, isn't it? It's something different. It's not just the regular season. We're just trying to get some new voices in, have a bit of fun, have a chat, and learn a bit more about people. So it's a whole lot of fun. It's been a great week so far. You said day 5.
Yeah.
I feel like I only just got up here, but there's plenty going on. Staying with Pines, where all the players are, where all the coaches are, where all the GMs are. I did manage to see Matt Weston walk into the lobby around midnight last night, and now I know what he was up to.
Yep.
So that makes a lot of sense, and that's going to be a really big signing for the league.
Yeah, absolutely. It is an exciting day for the NBL. An exciting game coming up. It is the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and the Sydney Kings. The Kings winners earlier in the week. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix had a disappointing loss to Illawarra, but as Pete said, they are going all out attack tonight. So looking forward to seeing what these two teams can produce. The Kings and the Phoenix. Tip-off is next.
Visiting the Gold Coast for the first holiday, I would say just beware because you might not want to leave. You might want to stay. So definitely a beautiful place to be at. The food, the people, the scenery is great. I would definitely encourage you guys to come out. Bringing your family here to the nice sanctuary is also just amazing as well. So I think it's just a great place. This has definitely been one of the best experiences that I've had so far at the Gold Coast. I would recommend everyone come out and check it out because I'm loving it so far.
Seeing the koalas with our little koalas.
Game 2 of night 5 here on the NBL Blitz, at the NBL Blitz, proudly supported by Experience Gold Coast. It's yours to experience here on the Gold Coast. 160 world-class experiences within 30 minutes of the central Gold Coast region. There is so much to enjoy about this part of the world. World-class eateries, golf courses, the famous beaches, and so many great sporting experiences as well. Joel Peterson and Pete Hawley are with you for Game 2. The Kings and the Phoenix are our nightcap. Earlier, a terrific game between the New Zealand Breakers and the Adelaide 36ers. The story out of that game, though, Pete, might be a little bit of an injury to Parker Jackson-Cartwright. Picked up toward the end of that, so it looked like a dislocated finger, which they managed to get back in, but he did leave the court. He was in a world of pain. He left the court with the finger on his left hand, so importantly his left hand in a bag of ice. So I would imagine we don't see him later in the week. And then hopefully he's cherry ripe to go when the season rolls around.
Not what you want to see, is it, from a superstar of the competition, but New Zealand Breakers, so much change as well. He's one of the main pieces that's going to help them have a crack at it this year. And yeah, I was sitting right there, sitting on the other side of the media desk, and he came off in agony. the physio from the New Zealand Breakers was trying to get it back in, couldn't do it, and then the general doctor who's around from the Gold Coast area for both sides managed to walk over there, and after some time they got it back in, and as you said, it went straight into ice. So hopefully it's not as serious. Hopefully we get to see him in round 1 and beyond, because not only do the New Zealand Breakers need him, but their schedule requires him to be healthy and ready to go, because it's a very tough schedule for the Breakers.
And they probably want to bank wins early before they go overseas to the US as well. So if they can do that, that'll be a big boost for them. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix side is ready to roll. They had their struggles against Illawarra the other night, gave up 112 points. What are you expecting to see from them defensively here, Pete?
That's the key, isn't it? And I don't think they have any trouble scoring the ball when they really start to play a whole lot of minutes. But what is their defensive identity? I spoke to Mike Kelly, who has an honest answer. He doesn't know what that is yet. He's trying to create that identity with the pieces they've got. And I look at the roster of all the makeup of this Southeast Melbourne team. Derek Walton Jr., he's not known defensively. Nathan Sobey, not known defensively, but can turn it on if he has to. Joe Wieskamp's probably the best wing defender in the starting lineup. Matt Hurt, offensive threat. Geordie Hunter, we know what Geordie Hunter can do on the defensive end, but all of that combined, they're defensive weapons coming off the bench. So who sets a tone? Would not surprise me that Wieskamp, who's been struggling a little bit to shoot, if that continued into the regular season, that an Angus Glover started, or a Matt Kenyon started, and Wieskamp came off the bench to try and make some things happen.
Just to give them a little bit of defensive flexibility, perhaps, and there was a concern for them, especially toward the back end of last season, and they'll need to really fire things up at the start of this season as well. Starting lineup for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix: Hunter Walton Jr., Sobey, Wieskamp and Hurt, as you can see, Bull Qual, Sean Bruce, Xavier Cooks, Alex Tui and Kelly Lepepe out there for the Sydney Kings. Joel Peterson and Pete Hawley with you as the Kings take on the Phoenix. Great to have the Sydney Kings CEO, Chris Pongrass, join us in the call. Chris, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. How have you seen the early stages of this pre-season for your Sydney squad?
Well, this will be, game 4 now? So 2 games against New Zealand and a game on Monday night. No, I'm pretty happy. I think we've got a defensive-minded team and just want guys to be healthy and get some good reps in before the season kicks off.
Oh, it's been very well documented how you go about your business in the off-season, and it's fascinating to see the pieces you put together year in, year out, the pieces you go and find. I'm interested, when you're looking at recruiting in particular in the NBL, we know your career before that. What are you looking for first and foremost?
Well, I wish it was all me. I wish I could take all the credit, but it's easy having one of the best recruiters and coaches in league history alongside you, and Brian Gorgon. Luke Longley's a key part of our group. Andrew Bogut. Everyone kind of plays a pretty significant role in any decision we make, but I think we looked at our challenges and deficits from last season and figured out what we needed to fix and what we needed to adjust to get back to what won us those 2 championships. And defense was obviously a big driver in that. But Gorge coming in, we only had a handful of guys contracted, and I think that was exciting for him to come into free agency and select his team. He's not, it's challenging for a lot of coaches, some in the league this year, that have the roster built for them when they came in, and that was also the case when Mahmood came in last season. So Gorge was pretty instrumental in selecting each of the guys, and handcrafted to the roster that he wanted.
We still have yet to see Jalen Adams up here at the Blitz. Are we going to see anything from JA? Or is it just anything to worry about, or he'll be all right?
Nothing to worry about. We're aiming for Friday. Hope he's available then, but it's something that we also just wouldn't want to put him out at risk. But it was just an ankle tweak at practice, and so nothing that we're too concerned with. So hopefully Friday.
So Qual, Tui, Cooks, Lepepe and Sean Bruce out there to start for the Sydney Kings. It's a fascinating constructed roster as you think that the defensive weapons that you've got. Bull Qual's he's a real X factor in this squad. What were you looking for when you went after him? What do you think he can bring to your team?
I've been chasing Bull for a number of years now. It's just Cairns did a great job of keeping him around, but I think they developed him really well, and what 40's been able to do, and credit to Mark Beecroft, for what they construct up in Cairns. But what I love about him is his defensive versatility, but his aggressiveness, you know. I think the challenge for last year, everyone was complaining that he, you know, couldn't stay out of foul trouble, but I also think that this roster complements him the most is because he's not the one that has to be the primary defender at every point in time, right? We were able to put Isaiah Liafa to pick up the ball, Jalen Adams, we've got Xavier Cooks, we've got Alex Tui, we've got, you know, Kelly LePepe, we've got pretty significant defensive-minded players that he doesn't need to be the primary guy at all times. So I think for him, you know, it's going to be an important year, but he's got guys that will support him through that. So I'm thrilled, and I mean, he can shoot the piss out of the ball too. And he's done that for years now, and it's, funnily enough, it was mainly when whenever he was in Kudos Bank Arena. So he gave me a stare last year when he came out and scored the first two threes of the game.
Strong start here from the Phoenix. Offensive firepower they have.
7-0 lead for them early. This man's got a big season ahead of him too.
If he's doing that, and again, CP, you've seen his growth over the course of last year and going into this year. One thing that impresses me the most, as Soapy just runs into the brick wall of Bull Quoll, is the fact that he had that little dip in confidence, right?
Yep.
Shooting the ball. But again, he stayed with it. And at his age, with all the outside noise and everything, that impressed me the most. But what impressed you the most?
Yeah, look, I think he started the year last year really well, shooting the ball really well as he gets another one. And he goes through that slump and you know, it couldn't see one drop, but he had the confidence to keep shooting through it and keep playing through it. Finished the year well, and then spent a lot of time this off-season in the US and Irvine working out with Jordan Lawley, and they've got a great gym over there. He's playing against NBA players, and he came back this year in great shape. You know, he's put on 6 kilos of muscle, and you know, in his lower frame and his shoulders, and then he's just been getting a lot of reps up. So for him, being a consistent three-point shooter, I think is going to bode well for him getting to the NBA, and if he can do that for this whole season, I think he's going to be a legitimate prospect.
Jordan Lawley, we love him. Love to see him come down to Australia. Don't love the fact that he wears pandas a lot. He's better than that, and he knows he's better than that. But he continues to prove the pathway that comes through his program as well, which is great to see. And this is what I love to see about the Kings, though, the way they get up in full court. And Geordie Hunter on the other end. Sitting here, actually, CP, if we had no jerseys on, is this a Sydney Kings interest?
There's 7 Kings players on the floor. Yeah, look, I like the Phoenix team this year. They've done a great job of retooling, and I got a lot of love for Geordie, a lot of love for Gus and Derek and Tommy V and Craig and Mitch Fuller there, who's now the strength and conditioning coach. There's been a couple of them who've gone south, but... And
they teamed up, though. They didn't just go everywhere. They said, let's just go somewhere together.
I think that helps with the continuity. They've played with each other a long time, and I think the opportunity that they saw, being able to potentially play more, you know, and coming off last season may have been disappointing for some, but, you know, if that helps them succeed again, I want nothing but the best for them. So got a lot of love from them there, but hopefully when they're playing in Kudos, they're off their game that night.
Bull Quoll getting stuck into Derek Rowan Jr. as well.
Bit of early action between those two. Big signing, obviously, getting Xavier Cooks back. How pleased were you to secure that signature in the off-season? Oh,
that was the first thing that Coach and I talked about with him coming in. Has been the priority year on year. And so for us, you know, we took a trip immediately after we announced Coach. The next morning we got on a flight to go see Xavier in the Philippines when they were over there for the tournament, and sat down with him, and, you know, that piece dictated everything else we did with this roster. Again, putting Bull Quoll and Xavier together was important. Put Isaiah alongside him, and the continuity of Xavier playing with Jalen Adams. All of those things I think fit really well, and every player that we got after him was really reflective of guys that we think are going to complement Zave's game. So for him, you know, I agree with Derek. I think he is the best player in the league.
Shocker.
A lot of Red Army fans are probably not liking that, but no, I think he's, you know, it's an interesting year for him where he's been able to scratch the itch of the NBA, and now he's focused on wanting to come here and chase another title. And ultimate team player. Yeah, a lot of love for Zabe in Sydney.
Speaking of, was Jalen Galloway a little bit of a surprise to have him returning?
He was, definitely. We built the roster with him not coming back in mind, you know. And, you know, it's great to see him back here in Sydney. For him personally, I know he would have loved to stay over in the NBA, and we would have loved that for him. But, you know, he feels that this is a great stepping stone for him if he wants to, you know. He's so young that that opportunity, that window hasn't closed.
We forget how young he is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that this is his fifth season as a pro, and he's 21 years old. So he comes back here, and yeah, that window definitely hasn't shut. So if we can be another stepping stone for him to get back there, that's important. But we left the roster spot open with the opportunity for him to return. We're looking at options of whether we elevate a DP in that spot, and just waiting and see, and it, you know, conveniently fell in our favour, but definitely was expecting for him not to be here this year.
There's that defensive pressure of the Kings. Gorge said in an interview it's going to be like a wrestling tag team match where Xavier Cook's in transition, but as soon as this starting five probably gets 4 or 5 minutes and he rings in the changes, and the defensive pressure just doesn't dip whatsoever. It's going to be very fun to watch.
It's a beautiful ball movement on the other end on that possession as well.
It's interesting because, you know, that's the depth in this league is challenging a lot of, you know, what I've been reading is that, you know, how are they going to play all these guys? How, you know, how do you keep everyone happy? And I don't think there's ever any perfect recipe. I think that's for the coaches to figure out. But ultimately, you know, we don't win Game 2 in New Zealand a couple of years ago in that championship series without our bench. And, you know, I think I can count on one hand how many games I think we've had in 6 seasons where we've had a fully healthy squad. So being able to have, you know, Jalen out tonight and then be able to play Isaiah coming into the lineup, and then, you know, if when Quad's out, we're going to see a lot more of Kelly and JG playing at the 4. You know, again, we have just a lot of guys who can come in and play multiple positions, but also we don't see the lag in talent that you know, when your 10th, 11th guy comes in. You know, one to touch on is McQuatch Mullock, because I think, you know, again, I think he's such an important player to this group, and he's ready whenever his number's called. So having a deep group, you know, can be challenging at times, but for the most part, I think that's necessary if you're going to try and chase the title.
There's plenty at your disposal, Chris, and we're really excited to see exactly how it unfolds for the Kings throughout the course of the season. They've gone on a 15-3 run since the Phoenix led 7-0 at the start of this game as well. 6:19 remaining in this opening frame. Of course, you can watch it all, every game live on ESPN via KO. The NBL back on free-to-air TV as well on 10 and 10 play every Sunday. It all begins September 19 in the regular season with Tasmania and Melbourne in that opening game of the year.
What do you like about the Blitz specifically, CP? Because, again, being around the NBA, the Summer League environment, the last couple of years especially, it's really felt like that to me. What about you?
100%. It's beautiful to be up in the Gold Coast. It's warm. Having everyone in one spot, you know, you've been around Summer League enough to know that, you know, it's really helpful, all the teams in one location. You get to see old colleagues, old players, old friends, you know, connect with other executives. I think that's really important. But then also the number of NBA scouts here as well. You're just able to see everyone in one place, not having to travel to see, you know, multiple different teams or players. And so it's just a lot of basketball. You come here in days where you're not playing, and just because you want to watch some hoops, and you get to see these guys that you get to see all season long. But it's just, you know, 10 games straight off the bat. It's something beautiful.
It is. It's good fun. The league continues to grow, Chris. Thanks for your time. Really looking forward to everything the Kings put out here on the court this season, and we look forward to seeing you throughout the campaign.
Thank you for having me on.
You still owe me dinner in Summer League next year.
Good deal.
You missed it this year. You skipped it this year, but I'm not going to hold you to it.
Where are we going?
That's on you.
Okay.
We'll let you two figure that out. Chris Pongrass, the Sydney Kings CEO, joining us here on our call of the NBL Blitz. Joel Peterson and Pete Hawley with you. Great to have the insights of the man running the show in Sydney. What a roster they've been able to put together for this season.
He knows what he's doing, the great man. He knows how to do it.
15-11 they lead at the moment. Derek Lawton Jr., former King, splashes in a triple. They got off to a fast start.
Oh, the physicality, I tell you what. Physicality from the Kings especially. I like that though. Letting him play, and there's Isaiah Arthur continues to shoot well.
He's been sitting, he's clearly been out in the sun. He's stayed hot, Pete, over the last couple of days. 7 threes the other night.
Yeah, that's bad from you, but that is exactly what's happening with Bogdanovic, former King.
I don't have much that's good, so I don't hold out hope on that front. So 18-13, just under 5 minutes remaining here in this frame. Couple of reinforcements coming in for Sydney. Bull Qual taking a seat. Koch Malawach, Tyler Robertson come in. Sean Bruce also taking a seat in the ball game. Joel Peterson and Peter Hawley with you. Great to have the NBL champion, a legend of this competition, in Bruce Bolden joining us. Bruce, good to see you. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Your former squad out here at the moment, but most notably as Owen Foxwell gets to the cup. Your son Jonah was out there for the New Zealand Breakers. How's he enjoying things over the ditch?
He's enjoying it. You know, he was always sort of happy about, you know, getting the second season under his legs and, you know, try to get some rhythm, some touch from last season. So it's a new team, but at the same time, you know, he feels that he can come in there and show some leadership and, you know, utilize experience from playing over in the league and bring that back here.
How's it feel to sit here and watch him when it wasn't that long ago we thought he'd walked away from the game for good, and now he's back in the NBL, second year, big hit there from Owen Foxwell. Is it a little surreal? Do you think there was always a chance that he'd come back?
Well, I knew it was always going to be a chance. You know, it's just one of those things where he needed to have a break. You know, we had that conversation, and I just said to him, you know, when you're ready, you let me know. I'll be back there supporting you, working out as per usual. But on your time, and that was where it worked out, and I'm excited. You know, as a father, you know, it's good to see him back out there. You know, it takes me back to when he was under 9s, and all of a sudden he's a pro now. So it's exciting, you know, just seeing him out on the court and having fun again.
Ooh. A great shooting season last year for this Kings squad, and look forward to seeing what he can do in pink as Tyler Robertson scoots to the hoop. Of course, your former coach in charge of the Kings this season in Brian Gorgon.
Still coaching.
Hey, Brian loves the game. And, you know, he instilled a lot of that in me when I played with him when I was in Melbourne. Just his passion, his intensity, his IQ. You know, I took a lot of that on board myself to help me develop as a player and as a young man to, you know, have a career myself. And so a lot of credit to where I am today and how my career ended up being has to go to Brian.
How have you seen him change?
Yeah, that was my question too.
He coached you in the early days versus to now what you see of him from a distance with the national team and in the NBL.
He's a little slower up and down the sideline.
Yeah, and you know, the hairdo is a little different too from back in the day. But you know what, Brian, back in my day, he did a lot of coaching because there was a lot of us that were still learning the game, and we needed his expertise to help us develop. These days, he has a lot of confidence in players that are at a higher level skill-wise, IQ-wise, and he allowed them that flexibility to go out there and play the game within his structure.
This is a high-level game right now. The Phoenix, Owen Foxwell's come on and scoring for fun.
Malik Lewis with a beautiful finish. The clock winding down there as well. Cam Oliver joins into the party.
He's got a lot of talent. And I'm interested to ask you this. The league where it stands right now, we're seeing players go to the NBA. Luke Travis, most recent, the Next Stars program. When you look at the league as a whole right now, what excites you the most?
Just the talent and the level of competition now. We're getting guys that are not going to Europe like they used to because they've heard a lot of good things about the NBL and now wanting to come over either to further their career or use the NBL as a way of, you know, working on their skills to get back to the league. And the young talent that are coming through now is exciting. And fortunately being in the country all this time, where I've seen the talent just continue to improve and grow from, you know, from your guards all the way up to bigs. So it's a great, you know, great time, and the NBL is in a good position, highly respected around the world. You know, whenever I go back home and I talk to my friends, they always ask me, tell them about the NBL. So it's in a good place.
Just saw the Sydney Kings QR code on your screen. Of course, basketball at Kudos Bank Arena, a real experience in that part of the world. And with the roster the Kings have got this season, it'll be terrific to see how they go. So you can get your tickets now. Head to the Kings website to get involved with all the fun this season. So apart from Jonah, Bruce, who do you like watching in the NBL in terms of individual players? Is there anyone that you particularly like keeping an eye on?
I like the kid from Adelaide, just now, Davis. He's a jet. He got some jets in him, and I just like how crafty he is, how he can get in the scene. The other person that impressed me, and I hadn't seen really much of him last year, is Jackson from Canberra. From Cairns.
Yeah,
he's got some talent.
Played for the Kings last year.
Yeah, he is very talented, and because you know, Taron Armstrong was out with the injury, he had to play that point guard role, and I felt he held it down extremely well.
Bogdanovic outside, can't hit on that occasion. Robertson going the length of the floor, and the Lewis reaches in, and he's not particularly pleased with the call. I mean, the level of talent, obviously, there are next stars like Malik Lewis, like Alex too. He adds something a little different dynamic as well.
Yeah, I mean, it gives those that have that talent the option of, you know, coming to the NBL, playing against grown men, playing that physical style, playing that up-tempo style as well to help their development. And you know, the likes of Alex, I've seen him from last year to this year, and he's a different beast.
You've seen a lot of players. I mean, Jonah went through it as well. When you're Kendrick Davis, because you mentioned him, I thought of it. Played in the G League last year. That was only his first real pro experience. Came out of college. From that, it was Penny Hardaway, his mentor, his coach in college. When you become a professional for the first time, what's the hardest thing you think the adjustment period for someone who might come out of college is?
The one thing I think they have to adjust to, particularly if they come, if there's an import that comes to Australia, is the fact that you're away from your comfortable surrounding. You're a pro, which is, you know, where you want to get to, but then you have to adjust to the things that you were comfortable with at home. You have to adapt to the culture. You have to adapt to the way of life, the system here, the coaches, the players. So if you can do that as quick as possible, if you have someone, you know, the assistant coach or a couple of players to help you with that transition, makes life a whole lot easier for you.
They played 480 games, Bruce. You were a finals MVP in this league.
Your knees weren't sore? It's a lot of games. Your knees didn't get sore?
My knees didn't get sore then, but let me tell you something. Today, they're sore.
We've been discussing the last little while maybe a return of the All-Star game in coming seasons. Is that something you'd like to see?
Hey, I'd like to see it. You know, give the both teams a chance to talk a little bit of trash.
Yeah.
It's different. We haven't seen that in a while. You know, and I think a change is always good, even if it's just for one season, just sort of see how it works. I'm all for that.
How would you like to see it go? There's you can do the captain's picks, and a lot of us have talked about imports versus Aussies. I think that's probably the most enticing, right? Because then it becomes a little bit of pride, a little bit of trash talk, a little real.
Yes, because there's some talented Australians, and the imports, as Americans, we're cocky, we're arrogant. We want to step up to the challenge, so it will really add some spice to it.
Good fun, however. Does eventually shake out.
I also think the NBL's got to be the one to do it first in that space. As Matt Hurt has already hit one of those, because the NBA's talking about doing it, right? They're talking about doing international versus USA because of the talent.
Yes.
So let's do it first, because that way we can say, hey, took it from us.
I agree, because, you know, with the NBA All-Star, it's a whole lot of fun. I get it, but the competitiveness is not there.
It's been gone for a while.
Yes. Whereas if you have that here, straight away, and it's, you know, rightly so, the Australians should be excited, you know, wanting to kick the Americans' butt. Vice versa, when they hear that, it's fireworks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Bruce, it's been great catching up. Thanks very much for your time, and all the best for your family and then Jonah throughout the course of the season.
Appreciate you guys, man.
NBL legend Bruce Bolden joining us on the call here at the NBL Blitz. John Peterson and Pete Cooley with you. Terrific to have the legend with us, Pete.
Oh, what a player he was. Tell you what a game we've got here. Offensive onslaught.
480 games for Bruce Bolden. Remarkable. Yes, plenty of fireworks as Derek Walton Jr. keeps it going. Cam Oliver with the heave. 67 points in the opening quarter, if you don't mind. 36 to 31 at the end of the first. And both of these teams pretty keen to put on a display. And we saw the Kings go into lockdown defensive mode at times against the New Zealand Breakers the other night. And at the moment, we are on pace for some very, very high scoring in this ball game.
This still, I know the Phoenix are hanging tough offensively, but they need to find a way to stop the scoring of the Sydney Kings, and it's easier said than done, right? If you've got a plan against the starting five, okay, we've managed to limit Xavier Cooks in the first quarter. We've managed to limit, Jalen Adams is not there. We've managed to limit everyone, but then the guys come in. Cam Oliver's coming off the bench and gone whack, whack. They've just got so many weapons that you've got to play a near flawless game for 40 minutes to try and keep them under anything respectable, but these are just way too many points. But I tell you what, it is mighty fun to watch.
Absolutely it is. It's good for us, Pete, good for the neutrals, maybe not so good for the coaches. I think their blood pressure might be up just a little bit. Alex Tui's got 9 points. He's 3 of 3 from the field. He's 2 of 2 from downtown, which is a really good sign. Kelly Lepepe's got 8 for the Kings. So too does Cam Oliver, who's also 3 of 3. The Kings are shooting 10 of 15 and 5 of 7 from downtown. They're also 11 of 11 from the free throw line. For the Phoenix, Owen Foxwell's got 7. So too does Joe Wieskamp. He's perfect from the field as well. And then a stack of Phoenix players with 4 points in the early going. So it's being spread around the load. Now it's who can knuckle down at the defensive end might play a role in the remainder of this ball game. Day 5 of the NBL Blitz. Proudly supported by experienced Gold Coast. It's yours to experience here on the Gold Coast, and I, for one, am very, very flat that we are both heading home tomorrow.
Oh, I know. It's been fun, though. It's been busy. A lot of media day interviews. That's part of the Blitz, is just ticking all that off and getting to watch this hoops. I'm excited that this game we get to call, because there is a lot of fun talent on this floor.
80-plus interviews across the couple of days for you. Who's been your favourite chat?
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, so I spoke to 7 or 8 players from each team, and again, everyone knows what kind of basketball player they are, but I'm trying to find out who they are as people, a bit about their backstory, just to kind of shed some light on that for all the fans who only get to see them really put a ball in the basket. James Bateman from the Brisbane Bullets is one to watch out for. His story is fascinating. I don't want to give anything away too much because he can say it in his words. We've had some really good reactions and guys talking about their families, which is always really special, because none of the pro athletes with families get to where they are without the support behind them. You just have to wait and see, JP.
Sorry, I'm just trying to dig a little bit.
There you go, Sobes, out in transition.
Nathan Sobey met at the rack by Oliver.
Well, that's a foul.
Wieskamp trying to clean it up.
And Sobes is not happy. That's a foul.
It got there eventually. Cooks is left wide open.
So you're going to knock down a couple of those, right? Not necessarily in the game, as Bull Quoll gets the offensive rebound and goes whack, and that's what I'm talking about. Mike Kelly's calling a timeout. Mike Kelly has his arms up. Don't think it's so much, it's not at the referees, although they're talking to him now saying he came down the court too far to call the timeout. He's upset because what do you want to live with right now in the Sydney Kings lineup? If Xavier Cooks takes a 3, they're taking that. They said, okay, we'll live with that. And they don't come up with the offensive rebound. And instead, the ball lands right in Bull Quoll's hands, who rises up and knocks down the 3.
We know that he's so dangerous from that kind of range as well. Game-high lead now for the Kings. It hasn't been out to 6 for them. In fact, it was at 7 in the opening term. Apologies. Have been impressive. Phoenix need just to find a way on defense to get something to work.
And again, it's going to be about creating the identity, and Tom Hurst did a nice piece on the pick and roll about all this change, right, in Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, and the change off the court, the change within the culture, the change about everything. 9 new faces. It's hard to kind of just say, hey, Mike Kelly's, I've got an identity.
You can't just dial it up.
And you also can't just pluck an identity out of the air that you've used before, because you've got to figure out what pieces you want to use. And I think they'll slowly get there, trying to find an identity against a loaded Sydney Kings team who clearly this is their identity, full court, being pests. Probably not going to happen. Probably not the way to do it.
It'll come at some stage. It'll come at some stage. Nathan Sobey taking it strong to the cup.
Goodness, that's probably another foul as well. So just keeping his head down.
Cooks gets his head down at the other end.
And this is why it's fascinating to watch the Sydney Kings is Xavier Cook's playing the 5.
And Sobey pokes that one away. There's a foul on the play, and it'll stay a Kings ball. 39-35. Minute played here in this second period. Great to have the Adelaide 36ers star DJ Vasiljevic joining us in commentary. DJ, first of all, how'd you go out there?
Yeah, good. Obviously 2-2 now on the Blitz, a bit battered and bruised, but I think we're making progress in the right way, and obviously not having Jarrell hurts, but we're slowly figuring things out as it goes, and obviously everyone's seen that big signing today. So
big's the right word.
Yeah, so I think we'll be really good. We just got to keep getting that 1% better every day. You can't just be satisfied with these pre-season wins because it's pre-season. Doesn't mean much, but it can show you so much, if that makes sense. So we just got to keep, pushing the needle 1% better every day. So we'll be good. Round 1.
From Tui. It does feel weird, actually, you sitting here and I look on the floor and I see Sean Bruce, Xavier Cooks, Derek Walton Jr., Jordan Hunter. These are all your old teammates.
Yeah, it's weird. Everyone's scattered everywhere right now. So, but it's good to see. Obviously, there's a level of respect for the Kings and how they do as an organisation, and kind of getting players to be themselves. And then next thing you know, they move on and get paid more. And I think that's what everyone's on now. So it's good to see it. Apparently, there's no defense in this game, Halls.
Dude, I'm telling you, the pace in this game right now is unbelievable.
I think we're on track for a 70-70 half-time score.
43-38 with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. If you are a defensive purist, I apologise. There's a foul. Matt Hurt's going to go to the free throw line because this is unbelievable pace of play. Even still, that one before, Matt Hurt hit a 3 and the Kings took off. Sean Bruce wasn't even a break, just said, you know what, I see a little opening and hits a mid-range jump shot. There's Matt Hurt getting the foul called on Kelly Leopepe.
Both played at a quick pace last season, these two sides, and they're showing it here. How did the news land with you about Montrezl Harrell?
He kept it from me, Joel.
Obviously, we was just in the car driving back from shoot-around, and Kadee was getting a massage, and next thing you know...
In the car?
No. Back at the hotel. He's left shoot-around as... When you played 16 or 17 years in the league, you only get 10 minutes of shoot-around, and he's gone. So, I went back to the hotel. Matt Weston called me and said, hey, look, we've signed Trez. I didn't believe it, but then Olgun posted and I was like, okay, yep, it's real. And then I went to Jace, he had no idea, and then everyone's a bit surprised about it, but Matt Weston told us after the game on what the whole process was, and he wanted to wait till then. He just wanted us to focus on the game, and that's what we did. So it's good to, kind of get Trez, hopefully here by the weekend. We're hoping Saturday afternoon, if not it'll be Sunday morning, but apparently Katie had a good conversation with him last night.
They know each other, they've worked out a lot.
So apparently Katie had a good conversation with him last night and got him over the line. So a few little recruiters on our team, which is good. So I look forward to getting him in, and he'll be good for us, moving forward.
Excited for that, but again, the pace of play in this game. Galloway comes in, hits a 3-ball, and the outlets of the ball ball who just lets it fly. They could put up some staggering numbers in pace of play.
How many possessions is this game going to be played at, Bulls?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like we're looking at, I know this is a pre-season, but this is what Sydney have shown, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen them here at the Blitz, even that one game against New Zealand. They're going to just rotate through bodies, try and keep everybody fresh out there, defend full court right up and in. That's a travel from Tui. And at any moment, a score, a miss, they're just taking it. Everyone takes off. If you're open, a bit of daylight, shoot it. We've got athletes who can get offensive rebound.
Yep.
It'll be fun to play
I'm
in.
hoping Southeast can, just keep running fast, playing fast, because we got to play them on Friday. So I'm not really into that fast tempo game. I know KD is, so he'll enjoy it. But when you play a lot of minutes, you got to kind of understand how to play with a sense of tempo. And I think we kind of did that in the second half today against New Zealand, which was good for us.
Galloway kicks it out to Bruce. Straight away, 3-ball is good.
And that's exactly what I'm thinking about with the Kings. So the Phoenix have been playing quick in this. As Sobes gets downhill, that's where he's at his best. He's going to go to the free throw line. But I don't know if playing into the hands of the Kings is going to be the way to beat them. And again, I think this is going to be the Phoenix identity. I think they're going to play very fast. They've got offensive talent themselves. But maybe, just maybe, when they match up against Sydney in the regular season, you have to stop that.
I think so too. I mean, we play in round 1, so I'm not going to tell them what we're going to do. I'll keep that. But as you said, you can't keep playing up and down real quick. It's just plays in, and that's how Gorge wanted to play at the Olympics, and that's what they did. So, it'll be interesting to see, how long teams can kind of stay with them if it's going to, end up playing that fast.
One of my interviews over the last 3 days, obviously, with you, but spoke to Xavier Cooks, and he had some nice things to say. He's looking forward to the matchup against you.
Yeah, I think obviously the drama that went on between me and the Kings last year, I think that's settled now. But now having him back, it's like, right, that's like a mate against a mate now. So it'll be intense. There will be a lot of trash talk, that is for sure. But we look forward to it. Again, anyone can beat anyone in this league, and they're picked favourites. So we're going to come prepared, and obviously we've got to take care of business on Friday. Then we'll worry about the Hoopfest game against the Kings.
Well, I've just seen you can rise with the Phoenix this season. Get your tickets to South East Melbourne Phoenix games via Ticketek. This new look roster going to be very exciting. Pile on the points from what we can see. Tui coming down the lane.
He's put on a bit of size too, hasn't he? Chris Pongrass talked about that before. He's put on some size. He's moving well.
He was ready to absolutely launch and annihilate the rim there, Pete.
Does that Draymond Green keep a little handoff and...
I just love the aggression, the confidence that he's playing with. Want to go up and dunk everything when he gets close.
Such an exciting prospect. Their next start, of course, Malik Lewis on the other side of things. Equal game high, 9-point lead for the Kings at the moment. Tui makes it a new game high of 10. So you've got both of these teams, DJ. You've got, as you said, Adelaide in round 1 over in Perth.
Yep.
You've got the South East Melbourne Phoenix a little bit later in the weekend. So how closely are the 36ers brass watching this one as we see Glover scooping that one in?
I think they're watching from home. I think I'm the only one that's left here, but I'm good to be back in this chair. I like talking, a bit of smack and talking about different,
No, you?
Yeah, me, Halls. I learned the best from you, So,
Silent assassin.
Yeah, it's good to, be back, but you just slowly watch our players play. And Cam Oliver's been amazing since he's been back. So.
That's a lot. And again, there is that talk that he's going to come off the bench for them. We'll see what happens, what they throw out there in round 1. A lot of people, and there's another turnover.
Doesn't matter who starts. Halls.
Exactly. I think they're all going to play around 22, 25 minutes a game.
Pass from the Alpha.
Time out here from Mike Kelly. They're all enjoying it. There's a little swagger about it. Kelly Leopepe's up and about. He just high-fived someone, and we're going to check on their hand. That is the strongest human being I've ever seen.
He's built like a linebacker.
He's built like 2 linebackers.
Oh, man. Imagine him playing rugby league.
I saw you take a charge earlier today, actually. If that's Kelly, what are you doing?
I'm taking a charge.
No, you are not.
I am. I just got to be careful with my elbow. I've got that tennis ball elbow again, so...
You are jumping out of the way.
No chance. Because I don't reckon he'll dunk it on me. So if I see Cooks, then I'll get outside.
I'm not worried about the dunk. I'm worried about my life.
No, that's okay. That's why we play the game of basketball. You put your body on the line. Make winning plays, Halls.
Great to have DJ Vasiljevic with us. Joel Peterson, Pete Hawley with you. Night 5 here at the NBL Blitz. Brought to you by Experience Gold Coast. It's yours to experience here on the Gold Coast. 5:18 left in this term. Sydney 51 to South East Melbourne 43. When you watch South East Melbourne, you assess their roster and how it's constructed. What kind of things are you are you expecting from them this season? What the style that they will play?
I think they'll play fast, like Hulls has mentioned, but I think they'll play at a controlled place with Derek Walton at the PG spot. I think they've gone out and got a really, really good point guard. Obviously, I was with him at the Kings, so I know what his tendencies are. Obviously, you got the shooting in Matthew Hurt. Joe Wieskamp, I think that's his last name. Apologise if I
Wieskamp.
Sorry.
So I thought it was Wieskamp, but
we're in Australia, so maybe it's just Australian English. But then they've got Geordie Hunter, who can catch a lot. So it'll be interesting. And then obviously Glove to spread the floor. And you know who's really been playing well for him? Owen Fox.
How good has he been going?
So
it's the beauty of the NBL 1 competition, right? Because, again, he got his opportunity a couple of years ago as a DP. I remember the throwdown got thrown in there by Simon Mitchell, who was the coach at the time, and a lot of people were thinking, what's going on here? But he had that little bit of a taste. It grew last year a little bit more. He dominated the NBL 1 South. They won the championship for the Eltham Wildcats, and now he's earned the backup point guard role. And no doubt going against Derek Walton Jr. every day, practice is going to help him. There's Angus Glover right on cue, DJ.
Yep. That's all he's been doing NBL 1 season. I think he averaged 7 or 8 threes in like every game he played for the last 6 weeks, and obviously got that championship with Foxy.
Cam Oliver's talking trash, and he making a strong case for the best shooting big man in the league early.
Mate, the Kings have got 59 points, and we have 4.5 minutes
What
remaining
is going
in the
on,
second
Joel?
period. This is absurd kind of numbers.
Great take by Owen Fox right there. I might have to take it back, Bulls. They might get to 80 in 4 minutes.
I think we're heading, again, around to a number. If they continue to do this in the regular season, which, again, there's all reason pointing to them doing this. A lot of the time I say how important defense is, and yes, their defense will be great, but they might not have to worry about that anyway. They're going to score enough points.
They conceded the first 7 of the game. They now lead by 14. They've made 12 threes in this first half. This is quite the display from the Sydney Kings.
What's the highest score here, Halls, at the Blitz?
So far?
Yeah.
Since we've been here?
Yeah, since last year as well.
Joel can do that because I'm currently looking up.
So 112 the Hawks had against Southeast Melbourne earlier in this tournament.
Yep.
Brisbane had 111 yesterday. I go back to last year.
Because we might be breaking records here.
Yeah, we're certainly on pace. Perth had 112 on Adelaide last year, so we might be on pace over the last couple of seasons.
Be very interesting. I reckon 120, 130 Halls.
And the Phoenix certainly aren't slouching around either. They've got 48 on the board with 3.5 minutes remaining.
As I said, though, I don't think you want to get into a shootout with this Sydney Kings team. Great take from Sobes. He got hit a couple of times, no call. The last couple, he's finished through contact.
Of course, change of scenery for Nathan Sobey this season. Co-captain of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. 62 to 50, 3:21 remaining. You can download the free NBL app this season, get breaking news direct to your device, video content, podcasts, and so much more. Get it via the App Store or Google Play, or head to nbl.com.au/app. Joel Peterson, Pete Hooley, and DJ Vasiljevic with us.
We love big, bold calls in the preseason. The most points ever scored by a team in the 40-minute era. What do you think?
I reckon 134.
I remember looking it up last year, but I can't remember.
So you're cheating. 130. Good take there from Tyler Robertson. 130 by the Breakers back in 2019 against the Hawks. It's going to be beaten at some point this year. They got 62 on the board with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? What would that translate to over? So you sort of take 20% of that, add it on, to be sort of 160 odd over a 48-minute game, which is just absurd.
Feels like we're in the NBA if that's the scoring.
Not bad for blokes like you, though.
Yeah, but you get too tired. Like it's hard to maintain an up and down tempo team. Like play of pace, you know.
Tyler Robertson makes a couple at the line. How did you find him in commentary the other night, Pete? He came and sat at this very desk where DJ's sitting at the moment.
great character. Obviously knows the game, had an outstanding college career. Interested to see how they use him this season with the Sydney Kings, because obviously there's a lot of talent around, but around the Olympic window, and I was talking to Luke Longley, not every piece had arrived for the Kings, but he said he was the best player in the couple of weeks span of practice. So that just shows their depth.
Beautiful feed from Sobey underneath. Kenyon's able to get it to go. So still 2:40 remaining in this term. 64-53. Robertson with the left hand can't finish.
And I tweeted the other night after the Sydney Kings game that it's not a stretch to think that they will not have a single player average more than 15 points per game. Because it's all equal opportunity.
100%.
So someone's going to have 25 one night. They might not have over 20 again for the next 10 games. Let's just have some fun. Let's get some shots up and put some ridiculous points on the board.
That reminds me of our first championship year with the Kings, when we had Ian Clark come in, and everyone could have one of their nights, and we just take turns. And we had Sean Bruce then, Jalen Galloway, obviously Geordie Hunter as well. So we were all, I think we were 10 deep. Even the DPs, I think Jalen Galloway was still a DP at the time, so he was playing minutes as well. So,
what does this man do well, DJ? It's Eric Walton Jr.
Controls the floor really well, plays at his own pace, and he's a dog. Obviously, he's played in the NBA, had a fantastic career at Michigan. So, I think he'll be all NBL in conversation. It's just getting everyone else involved and just trusting. Obviously, new system, new coach. But looking at there, just picking up full.
And it's stripped by Robertson. Foul on that
and
play.
He can play defense.
You already know I'm high on him. And he's having a few words to say to Tyler Robertson. I don't think it's going the other way first. I think that's coming from Derek Walton Jr. I think he's going to have a massive season for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. I've been really high on him and the signing of what he can achieve, and I think they've recruited well around him, especially in the starting unit. You've got shooters like Wieskamp and Matt Hurt. They've got to knock down shots, obviously. If they're not doing that, that's going to make his job a little harder. But I went back and had a look, most team average points per game since 2010 was 96. And that was in the 2018-19 season by the 36ers.
Oh, really?
That was the most average since 2010. And we've got 64 points on the board from Sydney and 57 from the Phoenix. Two of the teams that I expect to be up there in offensive scoring this year.
So 121 between the pair of them. Liafa.
And that's what I'm talking about. That a no-pass offense, but just kind of making, you get a daylight, let it fly.
Walton Jr. back the other way. Swatted by Malawatch. And Robertson comes up with a steal for the Kings. Oliver's on the break. This is a dangerous spot to be in, and he finishes. So good in the open court, Cam Oliver. Hurt with the fadeaway, comes up short.
He loves that fadeaway, Matt Hurt, from what we've seen.
Little Dirk Nowitzki.
A little bit about it. You'll learn that as a commentator. You throwing out comparisons like that.
I know. I'm throwing out the move. I'm not throwing out the comparison.
No, that's right. I just wanted you to explain.
I played him in college. I think it was junior year when he went to Duke.
Miami versus Duke.
Yeah. We lost by about 20, but we won't talk about that. We had 6 scholarship guys that year. A lot of injuries and ineligible players.
Good to have you through media day yesterday. The weather wasn't nice. You had the umbrella out, walking across to
I'll tell you what, yesterday was the busiest day of my life.
Okay, well, that's a fallacy, but...
Yeah, no, it's not. It's waking up 7:15, and we had obviously the AB players meeting.
Association meeting.
The integrity meeting, the Pride in Sport, which, again, I look forward to. Great initiative. This will be the 3rd year by the NBL doing that. So, and obviously, Isaac, it's an important round for him in getting that kind of awareness out, and having someone like that in the basketball community who everyone supports, and he's just a great teammate as well. And then obviously we had weights and practice, and then bang right into media day halls. We had a great time chatting, didn't we, Halls?
We always do. I like to think we always do. From one side it is, hopefully.
Yeah. I think 5 minutes of our conversation was about the Jacobs Creek wine. Is that?
Yes, it was.
That I owe you, you and wifey a 6-bottle case?
12 sounds better. We'll go with that. Good take.
Okay. I'll make sure when you come commentate our game, whenever you're coming to town, that I'll make sure it's there after the game on ice for you.
You're a good man. Leek Lewis, exciting next start. Tyler Robertson, a bit of daylight.
A strong finish from Lewis. Kings keep it alive. Oliver for another triple. That one's well short.
It's always after you hyped him up. Best shooting big man in the league so far we've seen in the Blitz.
That's okay. You're allowed an air ball here and there, Hulls.
Well, he was 6 of 7 before that. 2 of 2 from downtown with 16 points. Tui's got 18 to lead all scorers. He's 6 of 7. Hurt's got 11 to lead the Phoenix in scoring. He's 4 of 8 from the field. And it's the Kings by 8 as we wind down in this first half. And yes, it is only half time. It's not approaching three-quarter time for those looking at the scoreboard and querying that.
Derek Wallen's been beat up in this first half, but again, I highlighted off the top, this is the game the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix circled, saying we're going to have a real crack at it this game for the Blitz. They were a bit slow in the first one, just played everyone around 15 to 16 minutes, and I expect them to do similar, if not a couple of guys sitting out the last game, getting ready for round one. It's been different for you guys. You've basically played every game as though it's a regular season in terms of maybe not so much rotations, but minutes for the main guys.
Yeah, I think obviously we had a bit of a dilemma heading to Tassie that people don't really know about. Obviously, you know, Hulls, we caught a propeller plane, Adelaide to Melbourne and Melbourne to Davenport, and we were out in the air for about an hour trying to land and it just didn't work. So we went back to Melbourne. There was another cancelled flight. And obviously they wanted us to land and kind of play that same day, the following day. And it's not just, this is an NBL 1. So, you know, we made the initiative to go home, and I think we had a good week of practice. We needed it. So we have to play all of our guys now because we kind of got to get into the midst of rotations and our style of play. And I think we found a bit of that, you know, the last game against New Zealand. I think we'll do the same against Southeast on Friday, knowing we got 9 days till we play the Kings round 1.
So as much as you don't want to read into everything in pre-season, how do you find the balance between what you do take out of it and what you do cast aside?
Oh, you take a lot out of it. Obviously, that's how we learn. Everyone's played about 6 or 7 pre-season games, and we've only played 3 now. So we got to kind of learn and get 1% better. And even like when we beat Tassie, we still had a few, you know, things we wanted to work on. And you know, kind of Mike Wells has done good. We watch a lot of film and we emphasize the player development part. And yeah, that's just how we're going to get better moving forward. And yeah, pre-season actually means a lot to Adelaide, especially the negative narrative of, you know, the firing of Scotty Ninnis. And, you know, we're just trying to turn the page. And, you know, Mike Wells is in charge now. We've got new players, like, we just got to move on and kind of be professional about it. And yeah, we'll be good.
Vodanovic coming down the lane, denied by Oliver, puts it back in with the second chance.
Another old teammate of mine, Hulls.
Talks a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. Loves a bit of chatter with Mr. Xavier Cooks.
So 3.8 remaining on the clock here.
They'll hit this, the Kings.
For the Kings to go the length of the floor.
Cam Oliver. He's flat that he's coming out. He's putting his hands in the air like, come on now. Get the most threes in the first half.
Matt Kenyon coming into the game. Liafa into Robertson. Spins at half court, fires away, and it's well off target. And we get to half-time in an absolute shootout on a Wednesday night. 68-63.
131 points in one half, Hulls.
Kings slowed down big time in that last 4 minutes too, but yeah, I've got a feeling that an average 96 per game from Adelaide back in 2018, 2019 could be in a bit of trouble.
So a real offensive showcase in that first half. Phoenix did outscore them over the back end of that quarter, 15-5. So they closed it up a little bit, 68-63 at half-time here. Joel Peterson, DJ Vasiljevic and Pete Hawley with you at half-time. It is day 5 here on the NBL Blitz, proudly presented by Experience Gold Coast, 68-63 to the Kings. The defensive discussion in the Southeast Melbourne locker room at half-time. Where do you think it'd start?
I think it's just you got to kind of control the Kings' pace. The Kings want to get out, run. Like you've seen, Hools mentioned it. As soon as Southeast score, bang, it's in and it's out. Like you just got to kind of pick up the ball a bit earlier, slow them down. And as you saw that as the second quarter went on, and they were able to, they brought it back.
It's not a game for the Phoenix to try and really figure out that defensive identity. Let's be clear, because Sydney play unique compared to everyone else across the competition. But the one thing is, and we saw it in the first half, DJ mentioned, is you can kind of figure out defensively by slowing down your own offense. If the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix can just get through a set, I'm talking the last 8 seconds really look for a shot, the Kings will still rush it, but you take possessions out of the game. Correct. Make sure you get a good shot every single time down the floor, and then limit it. The last 4 minutes were a lot better. I thought they did that, control the pace and give themselves a chance.
And the Kings, on the other hand, just shooting the ball magnificently in that first half.
Yeah, just everyone looks comfortable. I think that's where Southeast kind of need to get up. Like too many open look catch and shoots, like Cam Oliver catching the ball and just dribble hand off here and there. I think Geordie's off a bit too much. Maybe if you just, stab at him, making like you'll feel like you're there, and it's like, maybe I just, stagger a little bit, then I play a dribble hand off and kind of pressure a bit. But as you said, Hools, you can't play that fast game, because if you're not scoring down here, you're relying a lot on your defense, and the Kings want you to play fast.
And no one's got the body, really, everyone's got depth, but no one's probably got the bodies to rotate 11 deep at that high level of athleticism. To be perfectly fair, no one's probably got as many athletes 1 through 11 on 12 like the Sydney Kings do. So that alone, the way they're playing, you don't want to match that.
Don't want to make it a track meet, that is for sure. It is at half-time, 68-63. Great to have the insight of Adelaide 36 and DJ Vasiljevic with us. If the first half's anything to go by, the second half is going to be all kinds of fun. Stick around, it is the Kings by 5 at the half. Cool. Thank you.
All right, we at Carrubbin Sanctuary. We just finished our tour. Had such an amazing time. My favorite animal was a crocodile, of course. He was a monster. That's who I am, a monster. What was your favorite?
My favorite moment was seeing the little baby Joey, the little baby kangaroo, and feeding them. This was absolutely amazing.
Yep. So until next time, Preachers out.
Play the game any NBL fan can win. Supercoach NBL. Be the coach. Challenge your mates. Win prizes. Head to supercoach.com.au today.
Discover the ultimate in courts, Dream Courts, the official court partner of the NBL. As the leading experts in tailor-made courts, there are so many reasons to choose Dream Courts. Whether for casual backyard enjoyment or professional-grade competition, the fully customisable courts redefine how you play. Dream Courts offers an unparalleled playing experience for everyone. Elevate your game with a Dream Court designed just for you. Visit dreamcourts.com.au to get a quote today.
Halftime here, it is day 5 of the NBL Blitz, our second game of the evening. And the offensive fireworks have been coming thick and fast in that first half. The Sydney Kings lead the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix 68-63. Joel Peterson, Pete Hooley and DJ Vasiljevic with you. And we're brought to you by Experience Gold Coast. It's yours to experience here on the magnificent Gold Coast. 11 of 20 from 3 in that first half. The Sydney Kings, they shot it at 57% overall. Alex Tui leads all scorers with 18 points. Cam Oliver has 16. Matt Hurt has 11 for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Pools, the play of Alex Tui has been very, very impressive. First game of this Blitz, and he's delivered.
Yeah, we saw a little bit against the New Zealand Breakers last week, and then he's just been rested and looked after a little niggle, but he looks like he's set for a really, really big NBL 25. And I think the most important thing for a guy like Tui going into this year is how he progressed through, as Pongrass was talking, mentally last year when he had the slump and trying to figure it out with the outside noise and the pressure, but also how to be really efficient this year, because the playing time, the reps, the shots aren't going to be like they were last year. Everyone's going to have to sacrifice for this team to be good. We're seeing it here in the Blitz. How that happens in the regular season, we'll find out. So every time you get your opportunity, you've got to take advantage of it, and I think he's done that in this game.
It's been great to see him playing with some real confidence, and Cam Hollider's been a bit of a spark plug for them too, DJ.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in the league. Obviously, when he was with Cairns, he was known as Space Cam, but now he's making threes, he's turning around little middies, so it's good to have him back in the league.
Absolutely insane. Cooks fouled as he was hanging around at the rim. Joel Peterson, DJ Vasiljevic, Pete Hawley with you. We've been from the Gold Coast here for a little while. What have you been doing aside from your busy days? Have you been enjoying the sun?
Yeah, I have. My partner was in town for a few days. She was staying at Broadbeach, so being able to go out there, a bit of Surfers Paradise. That was my first time on the Surfers Paradise.
Really?
Paradise, first time on the Gold Coast. So,
and you put her up in the penthouse, which is nice of you.
I wish. She does well for herself to get out there. She had a few friends in town, so it was good. So just been relaxing with her, and now I've got to go back to Jason Cadee in my roommate, and we'll hang out, and hopefully he's okay because he took a big fall today hitting a camera. So yeah, just chill with Jason.
That 3-year deal in the penthouse goes hand in hand. So that's what happens when you're big time now, man.
Look, we'll get you a penthouse in Adelaide Halls.
Okay.
We always welcome you back with open arms.
Is there a penthouse in Harndorf?
German Arms. German Arms. I don't think they've just got a couple of rooms out the back. I'm not sure.
That's all right. We'll find something for you, Hulls. That is absolutely sure. 68-63, the Sydney Kings lead the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix here at halftime. Second half isn't too far away. Stick with us for a big second half coming up. Beautiful. Thank you.
Want to stay up to date with all the latest direct from the NBL?
That is enormous!
Well, download the free NBL app now. It's jam-packed with live scores, stats, exclusive content, and much more. Get it from the App Store and Google Play now.
I'm thrilled to tell you about Swim Start, a game changer for our littlest swimmers. Swim Start is making waves by breaking down barriers for learn to swim lessons in Queensland. We believe every child should have a chance to learn this important skill. That's why Swim Start is offering vouchers valued up to $150 for eligible children up to 4 years of age. Parents, carers and guardians, this is your chance to dive in. Check your eligibility online and apply now to create a generation of confident swimmers. Let's make a splash together.
Play the game any NBL fan can win. Supercoach NBL. Be the coach. Challenge your mates. Win prizes. Head to supercoach.com.au today.
Half-time here at the Gold Coast Sports and Leisure Centre. It is the Sydney Kings 68 leading the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix 63. 131 combined points. And we are only at half-time in this ball game. Joel Peterson, DJ Vasiljevic and Pete Hawley with you. DJ, we've been talking about the potential return of All-Star sort of weekend, an All-Star game back to the NBL. What are your thoughts on that idea?
I want it back. I think a nice little locals versus imports All-Star game would be elite. I think we dedicated to Homicide Williams because he was pushing it in his time. So it'll be interesting. Maybe something you could do at the Blitz, maybe an extra day or two to get it going. But yeah, having a three-point contest, having a dunk contest, skills contest. So I think if we're trying to channel what the NBA does, I think it'll be good for the NBL because I think we're attracting the crowd as it is here. I think it will just, give the vibe a bit more.
And people talk about the competitiveness of it, and obviously the NBA, that the competitiveness has really disappeared. And adding incentives, I don't think the incentives would matter if it is imports versus locals because of the pride of the line. I've had a crack at it, the starting five for both.
Yep. All right.
Here we go.
Give it to us.
It'll be very similar.
This will determine if he gets his wines or not.
Whether he's the GM of the
So
All-Star game.
I know how an All-Star game works, right? So we all know, we've seen how it works. So this import one first, which is tough. PJC, Bryce Cotton, Milton Doyle,
Yep.
Trez Harrell, he's not here yet, but he'd be in there,
Yep.
and Cam Oliver.
Did you think about Darius Days?
I thought about Days, and I thought about Derek Walton Jr.
Yep.
So now, my Aussie contingent. So that's a very, very powerful.
Cam Oliver's going to be fun in the All-Star game, just quietly.
I know fun is one thing, but you got to win, right? So how do you beat a lot of highlights? Well, you got to shoot the rock. So I got Chris Bolden, DJ Vasiljevic, Xavier Cook's playing my 5. He can be athletic, move your feet, meet guys in the rim. The 4, I've currently settled on Jack White, another athlete, can shoot the rock. My point guard is Tyler Harvey. Because by the time it comes in, he'll be an Aussie, hopefully, and you get some more shooting, and then the locals just going to hit more threes. And
threes are worth more, aren't they, Halls?
Yeah, exactly right.
So if we miss, Cooksey can put it in.
So I think I've done well there.
I think you have.
I mean, it's a bit of a caveat with Harvey's current citizenship situation, but he does want to be one.
We were sitting over there earlier, and he said, wait till you hear my point guard. And I sort of prized him. He said, I'm not telling you until we're on air.
You didn't expect it, though, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't know where you were going to go with it. So it's good from you. Good from Derek Walton, too, as he starts this second half. Is the three-point contest something you'd like the sound of in terms of involvement, DJ?
Yeah, I would. Who wouldn't? Obviously, I think the competitiveness of myself, Chris Goulding, Tyler Harvey. Who else we got there, Halls?
Bryce Cotton.
Bryce Cotton, for sure.
Clint Steindl.
Oh, yes.
Clint Steindl might go close.
Johnny Mack.
But Clint Steindl, you look at the elite, the top-tier shooters in the league. The guy right next to us right here, DJ, Chris Goulding, the guys who can really get on the move and catch and shoot. But also, I'm just thinking about Clint Steindl, how robotic his shot is every single time. He seems like not everybody's an off-the-rack type shooter as well. That's kind of hard to get into a rhythm, but that seems like he'd love that. I know you love any type of shooting.
I love any type of shot, Halls.
Have you ever played around with it at training or anything like that, trying to shoot balls off the rack?
No, not really. Obviously, if they had a bit of discussion of bringing it in, maybe I start to get a head start on everyone.
It is completely different, right, than just shooting.
100%.
We have seen in the NBA, not every great shooter can pick it up and get in that rhythm off the rack.
I think being as a shooter and scorer, and I think Goulding can kind of relate to this, you're never going to get the pass perfect. So being able to catch it at different heights.
I thrive myself on that, by the way, passing.
Well, okay, Horse, you can come play B-grade domestic with me in the off-season.
I used to get recruited after practice just to be the passer because I knew I wasn't going to be on the shooting record.
So it's definitely going to be different of having to catch at the hip, boom, and just go straight up.
Tell you what, this is a great start from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And it looks like that's going to be an offensive foul on Cooks.
Oh, and Geordie's whispering something to him.
The Phoenix are up and about.
There's been a little bit of chatter going on. Tommy Ivanovic and Isaiah Liafa were in discussion as they walked out of the huddle, or out of the tunnel at half-time.
Look at Ball Qual.
He's a menace, Ball Qual. Walton Jr. barrels into Kelly LePepe.
And that's, you talk about potentially Kelly LePepe starting. What does he bring different? Stuff like that.
I think he's like a Draymond player, though. Like, he's just built.
He can shoot.
Yeah, he can shoot, he can step out. I think he knows his role really well, and he's a rookie. Like, that's hard to do, to come in and just know your role straight away. And obviously, you're playing for one of the greatest coaches in Australian basketball history with Gorge. So he's done something right to deserve kind of his starting spot here. So it'll be interesting to see who they roll out against us in game one, because, as you said, Horse, anyone could start on that team.
Breaking down the film after Sydney games is going to be very fascinating to watch. Anytime there's a minor breakdown defensively from the opposition, whoever's got it is just letting it fly.
Nathan Sobey puts Kelly on the deck as well. I'm just impressed that they've been able to apply enough force to the man to get him on the hardwood.
Oh, 100%. That's a big body horse.
I reckon that's a bit of a win for Derek Walton. Yeah, you give away an offensive foul, but able to take down the middle linebacker of this Sydney defence. Oh, Bruce got a hand in there. He's bouncing around, frustrated with that call.
There's a bit of feistiness here, Halls.
Good to see.
Because it's just a couple of years ago, it was in practice for the Sydney Kings.
Wieskamp hurt, Walton,
good pass.
Hunter, and this man, Sobey.
We talk about the defensive identity of Sydney. They're getting up and in. Phoenix have 70 points on the board themselves already, so the pressure that they've applied is not bothering Southeast Melbourne whatsoever in this game.
Oh. Giveaway from Qualt. Wieskamp throws it down.
We've got a ball game, Halls, 72-all.
Joe Wieskamp showing he's got some bounce. You know that. Coming through the draft combine process a few years ago, you can certainly get up. Tied away at 72 apiece. 7:33 remaining in this third period.
The last time the NBL had a three-point contest, 2019.
Really, not that long ago.
Yeah. Do you know who? Would you have a guess who won?
Or either Goulding or I feel like Casper Ware was involved, maybe.
No, one of the guys we mentioned came runner-up. Clint Steiner was runner-up. The winner is retired now, but again, you think about, I talk about Clint Steiner, that robotic action just being locked in every single time, nothing changes. He's retired, and Wieskamp hits another one. We're going to get a timeout from Gorge. Dave Barlow.
Yeah, his was
one of the best shooters I've seen.
Robotic, mechanical, pretty.
The way he just stayed locked in the entire time.
Mind you, he's still got a bit of game. Still plays NBL 1 for Sandy. Player coach.
Body's immaculate. After his body.
Gotta love it. 12-4 out of the break for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. You can unlock the ultimate fan experience by signing up for free to NBL Plus. Scan the QR code on your screen. You can get it through the NBL app. It takes you deeper inside the action, archive footage, all kinds of analysis and much more. So to access the kind of stuff that Halls has access to, download and get involved with NBL Plus.
Well, I think there was something on there when I was talking about some teams about the potent offensive talent on the Phoenix roster. I said that they could score at freakish levels this season, and we're seeing that. If the Sydney Kings people are talking about, and we've also seen what they can do as being one of the best defensive rosters around, and the Phoenix is doing this by attacking them, we question whether it was sustainable in the first half. They're showing right now that they can do it, and Wieskamp's their X factor. I think Derek Walton Jr. is going to be an absolute stud. Sobey's going to do his thing. He's not slowing down anytime soon. I think Matt Hurt's a great pickup, and Geordie's forever solid. But Wieskamp's the one. If he plays like this, they're a completely different team.
100%. Now, I've got a question for you, Halls. Do you reckon this will be the highest scoring NBL season?
I do. And as someone who has really continued to tell people how important it is to play defense in the NBL to win, it's going to be even more true to be able to slow down the firepower. But the Sydney Kings, we know, we've seen it, they're going to be up there. The Phoenix are caught on very early, they're going to be potent offensively. So your squad's not shy, and there's Wieskamp again. He's feeling it.
Joe Wieskamp is heating up. 17 points now. Leading scorer for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And he is 6 of 6 from the field. Turnover. Phoenix out by 6. Sobey the other way, looking for Wieskamp. Giveaway. Bruce comes up with it. He's accosted at midcourt. Tui to Galloway. Beautiful finish.
That's the problem, right? You don't get a good look and they get a steal. It's going to be impossible to stop the Kings in transition, especially when you've got the likes of Galloway, Cooks, Oliver, Tui.
Good to see Jalen Galloway back too. after a little bit of a two-way stint with Milwaukee. Got to learn under the likes of Dane Lillard and hang around Giannis.
And come straight back and puts a poster on first game.
My goodness.
You know he's got that in the kit bag. All kinds of athleticism from both the Galloways.
Who's more likely on this Sydney Kings roster to win Dunk of the Year? You played with all of them, except for Cam Oliver, but you've seen it.
I think Hooksy, just because of his length,
yeah.
But Jalen, because he's actually got unreal bounce.
It's the sneaky quick is the bounce, right? How quickly he gets up and throws it down.
But I wouldn't rule out a Cam Oliver fast break 360.
Where were you on during the Cam Oliver can dunk? Where were you?
On the bench. You can actually see me on the bench.
How hard is it not to react in that moment? Because some of the bench reactions to the opposition dunks are always hilarious.
Mind you, I'm a rookie, so I'm like, I kind of try to process what did just happen, you know? Like he banged on, I remember it was Craig Moller and Geordie Hunter. And it wasn't like he had a full run-up. It was off just 1-2 and boom.
Phenomenal athlete, and especially given his size as well.
Shout out Craig Moller getting the drive-by on a Wednesday night. Just sitting at home.
From the Gold Coast.
Tui misses the first at the line. And the second. So still the Phoenix by 4, 78-74. Joel Peterson, DJ Vasiljevic, Pete Hooley with you. 9-5 here at the NBL Blitz on the Gold Coast. Kings led by as many as 14 in that second period. Walton Jr. making a move. Tui locks him up.
That right there from Alex Tui for all the GMs. Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets are sitting in the corner. That right there is exactly what's going to have scouts excited as his season goes on. One of the best point guards in the league. Arguably the best handle in the league. And Tui moved his feet and forced him to give it up.
It's good to see so many scouts, you know, travel all that way to watch, you know, upcoming talent. Obviously, Alex Tui, Rocco, Lewis from Southeast Melbourne. So the league is in really good hands, that's for sure.
Matt Hurd cans a three from the corner. 25 scouts here over the course of the week. 4 3-pointer of the frame for the Phoenix. Oliver's shots look good so far. That one won't go. Tui keeps it alive and he's fouled underneath. Angus Glover's just got to have a moment out by himself to regain his composure after the call. Phoenix by 7, their biggest lead of the game.
Phoenix would be very happy. What are they giving up? 6 points in this quarter in over 5 minutes played. So just kind of figuring out who's. Remember, you don't play too fast. You play at your own speed. You control the tempo. And I think you can switch the tide of how you want to play the game.
They've got weapons themselves. They've definitely got shooters themselves. Matt Hurt and Media Day, talking to the great Guy Neville, when they're asking him, what's your 3-point celebration? You know what he said? Well, get back on D. You've got to give us something more than that, Matt.
Foxwell into the game out there with Hurt, Lewis, Vodanovic, Glover. Oliver, Tui, Robertson, Leafa, Galloway out there for the Kings. They come up empty to Phoenix. 5-on-4 break, and Robertson's hit ahead pass to Galloway. Just had a little bit too much juice on it. Galloway fumbles it out of court. Has it been that change in pace that's been the most notable difference in this quarter that's got the Phoenix into this position, DJ?
Yeah, 100%. We talked about it at halftime. It's just controlling the tempo. And again, you can try and play fast, but you also got to know who you're playing fast against. And the Kings thrive on playing fast. And yeah, you just kind of slow it down, and I think they've done that, obviously. Derek Wallen controlling the tempo, getting the shots for Wisekamp and all the others, and so everyone's just kind of playing their role right now, so it's good to see. And the ball's moving from side to side.
Vodanovic, Glover in the corner.
Craig Muller's just hit me up saying that he's off there.
That's okay, I'll send him a case of wine, he'll be right back.
He will actually.
Shout out Jacobs Creek too.
The Arthur misses, a little bit short.
One Foxwell just has no fear.
Confidence.
The last 24 months, how well that's grown.
A real asset to this Southeast Melbourne team. He can add some scoring punch. Galloway, step back, bang!
Hit a couple of threes up here during the Blitz, and they've looked good. That was the one part of his game that probably held him back from more opportunity overseas now. But he's only 21. He's going to get another opportunity. Make no mistake about that.
Foxwell gives it up to Glover. Around and out. Loose ball. Last touch by Vodanovic. Wieskamp coming back in. He's got 17 to lead all scorers for the Phoenix, 4 in double digits. Matt Hurt's got 14, Sobey 11. Walton Jr.'s got 13 and 5 assists. For the Kings, Alex Tui's got a game-high 21 on 6 of 7 shooting, 6 of 9 at the stripe. Cam Oliver's got 16. Yarp had 7 threes the other night. He was absolutely white-hot. Tui in the corner. Bangs another one in.
He's going to rocket up the draft boards this year. The way he's shooting, 24 points, is so very efficient. But also that defensive clip before, as Foxwell tries to answer back, and it's just a shootout here.
We might have 2 Aussies in the top 10, huh? Rocco and Tui.
What a 1-2 action, wouldn't go.
That'll be very good. Mr. GM Liam Santa-Maria might get a race.
Oh my word.
Coming over the top on Wieskamp. Foul on the play.
Also love that from Wieskamp just quietly. Just didn't even react. So I've got 2 free throws here. I'm going to knock him down. And Cam Oliver's been teed up here as well. And Cam Oliver's saying, I didn't touch his head, because that was what the ref indicated. We know that the rules have changed. There's been that little tweak to close the loophole, which is a great decision. It's an obvious one.
There's a lot of little changes by the referees and all that, but it's actually kind of...
It helps.
It helps. It helps in the game speed up. The delay of games and timeouts, we only get 50 seconds, which we're trying to adjust to, so you don't really have that chance to talk to referees. So you just go quick, huddle in, come back out. And actually the referees have been really good in the Blitz of being able to provide feedback. I think that's what players kind of wanted last year, just to talk about why they call certain fouls and whatnot, and we kind of just adjust moving forward from there.
Oliver flings it down the floor to Malawatch.
And Mike Kelly cannot take that. He's called a quick timeout, and understandably so. That just simply can't happen off a free throw. Has there been a message come to the teams, and how did it come about huddling at free throws? Because I've noticed that it's something that I was calling for when we were hearing about these rule changes. Is we're trying to speed up the window. We don't need it to drag out. And the timeout's one thing, but also the free throw huddles, where usually if there's a foul call, teams both huddle and the refs try and break it up. But now that huddle's happening above the free throw line during the first free throw.
Yeah. We weren't really notified about that because obviously I'm a delegate for my team, but in the players' meeting, that's what they've said is just be aware there might be something else coming, and it's that rule. So we're trying to figure as we walk back to like above the 3, we're kind of in the straight line trying to just talk.
Yeah.
And then bang, whoever's shooting or lining up, bang, that's how we do it. We're adjusting. I think it speeds up the game. It's good for the broadcast and kind of allows the game to keep flowing.
It's going to be very strange to watch at times because it's not a technical free throw. There's no one at the line. But again, it's been happening in the under-18s in the lower competitions where I think just naturally okay, there's a free throw where you can't do anything on the first free throw anyway, besides unless you wanted to essentially try and use your presence to put someone off. So everyone wants to huddle and figure out what we're in. Let's move that up, let the free throw happen, and then quickly come back down. And it doesn't sound like much, but over the course of a game, it's going to add up to a minute and a half, and all of those little things matter when you're trying to speed up the game.
100%.
Points of emphasis this year for the officials. And the coach's challenges. Pete and DJ have told you, great to have their insights.
Coach's challenge is interesting because Mike has never had that before, so he's 2 from 2.
It's a good start.
Gone too early there. Gone 2 and 2 with not the real thing.
That's right, Hawes. I think Adam Ford's got a record. I think he had 5 in one game last season.
When you know, you know.
Robertson straight away. That won't go. Bolden Jr. comes up with it for the Phoenix. Sobey on the bounce.
That's a bucket.
Wieskamp in rhythm. Get a couple of extra seconds on the shot clock there, the Phoenix, as it went to a new 24 instead of 14. Lewis from outside can't come up with it. Malawatch left alone.
The pickup game.
Cooks puts it back in. Kings back ahead in this 1 minute to go in this third period. Lewis hangs and hits. Malik Lewis, a teenager out of Trinidad and Tobago. So much upside in his game. 5 on the shot clock here for Liafa. Step back, foot on the line, got it.
Said before that no player, I think, will average over 15 points per game around that, and it's probably not going to be an MVP coming out of the Sydney Kings this year. They've just got too many different guys who are going to step up each night.
Well, you never know, Hawes. I think X is still up there, and then obviously no one will ever doubt the great Bryce Cotton in Perth.
Sobey's cross-court pass was cut off by Tui, but a foul on the play.
This game alone hasn't got a former MVP and Jalen Adams in it either.
I forget about that. No Jalen, no Quatnoy. That's a really good line.
That's a scary prospect, and their tickets are on sale now to Kings games. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Jalen Adams, Cam Oliver, so much talent in this team. Kudos Bank Arena, a great place to watch basketball. So get involved with the Kings this season. Get your tickets. They open up at home against Illawarra in the Freeway Series. Tied at 88 after the first free throw from Nathan Sobey. Kings led by as many as 14 in the second period. Phoenix scored the first 7 points of the game.
Scoring dried up a little bit in this third quarter compared to the first two. Still, both teams nearly at 90 at three-quarter time, where 90 is normally an end score in the NBL.
So Cook, 6 seconds on the clock here for the Kings. Liafa goes to work, steps back, can't connect. And Tui had Kenyon right in his face as he tried to gather the rebounds. And we get to three-quarter time, a very close one on our hands. 89-88, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix lead the Sydney Kings. It was the Kings by 5 at both quarter time and half time. And the Phoenix by the narrowest of margins here at three-quarter time. John Peterson, DJ Vasiljevic, and Pete Pooley with you. And you mentioned it at halftime, DJ, you wanted them to control the pace a bit better, the Phoenix, and they did that in that quarter.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, that's why you got a player like Darren Walton Jr. plays at different speeds, but that's how you stop a team from playing fast, and you change the tempo completely. And from being down, I think it was 10 or so, to now you're up 1. So it'll be an interesting, last quarter. And this is what Southeast Melbourne wanted. They wanted to throw the punches this game and prepare for, obviously, round 1 next week at the Hoop Fest halls. It'll be a great event. I cannot wait. We get there Friday, and obviously having the club championships, under 18s, the WNBL, the NBL, and it'll just be a great kind of thing for Perth in general and for the leagues. So I look forward to it. A Sneakerland halls.
You sneak ahead.
Yeah, I think we go out and get ourselves a few pairs of sneakers.
On you?
Yeah, on us, and maybe.
No.
On you. We'll bill it to Kendrick Davis.
Okay, that's what I picked up what I was putting down.
So much to look forward to as the NBL season gets underway. Only 8 days away, which is very exciting, of course. Melbourne and Tassie to kick it off. Sydney Kings have got 36ers. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix have got Perth on Friday night in round 1. Southeast Melbourne then host a throwdown in round 2. So a really busy start to the season for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. This new look squad was challenged earlier in this game, but is now doing some nice things and lead by a point at three-quarter time.
It's nice to see the Phoenix taking this one seriously. As I've said from the top, spoke to their camp, and they'd circled this one as near regular season match hit out as possible, and we're getting that. We're getting that with the rotations. We're getting that with how much more Derek Walton Jr. is filling it up. Wiescamp's playing really well. And to be perfectly honest, if you're Brian Gordon and the Kings, you are absolutely wrapped with this. This is exactly the kind of battle that you want in a preseason game.
100%. It kind of gives you an understanding of where you're at kind of as a team, and obviously you can practice against each other so much, and obviously they blew out New Zealand in that first preseason hit out, but this is the game to kind of, because South East will be a top 4, top 5 team in this league for sure, so it's a good hit out for them.
Walton Jr. hurt. Hunter, Sobey and Wieskamp out there to start this final frame. Wieskamp's been good from distance so far and continues.
Can't leave him open. I know he had the game where he was 1 of 9, struggled a little bit before they got to the Blitz. But he's had his NBA opportunity. He's had his career based on the fact that he's a lights-out shooter, and we're seeing that in this game. And as I said, he's their X factor. If he's switched on, if he's knocking them down, it makes them even more potent. Sean Bruce, a few words to say. Look at Ben Ayre's direction. That doesn't sound like something Ben Ayre would be doing.
Come on, horse.
Doesn't sound like something Sean Bruce would be doing. They both got a little bit of.
I think 2 years ago we did a little players vote of who talks the most trash in the league, and Sean Bruce was #1 voted by all the players. Yes.
So this is funny. I interviewed Derek Walton Jr. during media day, and we talked about the past players, and the first thing he brought up was Sean Bruce, and he said he's a player that you just want on your team, but when he's not on your team, he's the biggest pest around. And that sums up, I think, everybody who's been a teammate with Sean Bruce and then plays against him, good take, and Sobey would agree with. And it's what Delhi made his career of in the NBA, right?
Yeah, just being a pest and obviously making guys uncomfortable on the defensive end. So.
A couple of country Victorians, of course, Bruce from Horsham, Delhi from Maryborough. Cole can't come up with it. Hunter is able to snap all the rebounds. Wieskamp, he's really feeling it.
He can shoot it. He can shoot it. Joe Wieskamp.
24 for Wieskamp.
This would have
8 of 10 and 5 of 6 from downtown.
This would have Mike Kelly, Tommy Gear, everybody just smiling ear to ear. This is exactly why they brought him in. You see Derek Walton Jr. looking for him. He knows that he's got the hot hand and what this is going to open up. So he's already got the reputation. He starts a season off like this. Think about the space that Sobey and Walton Jr. are going to get to play with.
It's going to be amazing. Again, they've recruited well. Obviously, Mitch Creek has gone elsewhere, and he's done well to establish the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix in the NBL. But now, like having great recruits in Derek Walton and Wieskamp.
Oh no!
Oh, Xavier Cooks has gone down as he was making his move to the basket, just grabbing in his left knee.
Hopefully that's just a bit of a little stinger and a scare. There he looks to be getting up okay.
Geordie Hunter goes over just to check that he's all right.
Oh, a little hyperextension.
4th foul on the big man from Southeast Melbourne.
If I'm the Kings, this is the preseason. If they get a look at that replay, let's just get him out and have a look at him. And I think that's what's happening right now, to be honest. I think the referees over there in the replay centre have just had a little look at the replay and just shown the Kings, saying this is what we saw, just in case, because it is just the preseason. He seems to have shrugged it off, which is good to see.
I think Derek Walton's told him, hey, I want a cheeseburger.
I don't know what they do it in.
I don't think they do it in the Blitz, but
there was a kid actually yesterday. I was watching the game from the
Was
other
he
side.
trying to
little kid was
You
just
would
chanting,
get
"Hungry
him.
Jack."
You would pay for a cheeseburger if you gave him out for everybody here.
100%.
Okay, on the record. Thank you.
We've still got another game to come.
I remember, I think it was my second championship year. I missed 2 free throws in Cairns to give away cheeseburgers. Nice take.
Lewis on the take.
Such an exciting talent.
Cook's guarded by Glover. Flings it to Lepepe in the corner.
Great defense from the Phoenix. Clogging up the lane. You want to let somebody else, if Xavier Cooks has the ball, who's going to shoot on the team?
Hurt coming downhill. The big man will go to the free throw line. Matt Hurt. Been productive tonight. 14 points, 4 assists, couple of rebounds. Wieskamp leads all scorers for South East Melbourne. He's 8 of 10 for 24. Sobey's got 15. Walton Jr.'s got 13. Foxwell's got 12 off the bench. 24 for 2. He leads the Sydney Kings. And I think the man in front of us, Liam Santa Maria, would be absolutely thrilled with what he's seen from Alex Tui.
And Malik Lewis. But
yes.
General manager of the next star. Wheeling and dealing. It's because you'd think he's got his sights set and he has to worry about the 5 incredible next stars we have this year. But he's also got to start to think years down the track as well.
I've heard, is there a thing going that there might be 2 next stars?
What are you talking about?
In one team. That's what I've heard. Or am I hearing wrong here, Horse?
I don't think that's possible.
I think Liam Santa Maria might be up to something.
I don't know if that's possible.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
From a credible source.
No, I would believe it. I don't think you just throw it out there, but I actually don't know if it's possible. I don't think it is.
I'll tell you what, he loves wearing that black jacket, though.
He does. He's working hard. Talking to all the scouts. As I said, Sean Marks from the Brooklyn Nets sitting over there. Denver Nuggets GM in Gold Coast as well.
.709 remaining. South East Melbourne 101, Sydney 92. Joel Peterson, Pete Hawley, DJ Vasiljevic with you. Night 5 here at the NBL Blitz. Earlier tonight, Adelaide 36ers, led by the man in the middle here, DJ, beat the New Zealand Breakers 98-91. Tomorrow, 2 more games coming your way from 5 o'clock Eastern time. Melbourne United and Illawarra, and then Cairns and Perth. As the Wildcats round out their Blitz campaign. Bank not open for Sean Bruce. 101 points for the Phoenix. And we've still got plenty of time remaining. Kings
Nice take,
on
Glove.
fire earlier, and that is a beautiful move from Angus Glover.
I think Glove's in for a big season as well. Being potentially that 6th, 7th man for the Phoenix, come in, make shots. Again, another guy who had a great NBL 1 season.
You'd have come up against him a couple of times in that NBL 1 campaign.
Actually, we didn't. I went into Boomers camp when my team played him, and let's just say his team beat our team by about 30. So, yeah, we don't really speak about it, if that makes sense. I try to recruit Mr. Halls over here to come play for Waverley, but
I haven't broken a sweat in 5.5 years. I don't plan on doing that anytime soon.
Mighty Falcons, of course, they had a terrific women's season as Cam Oliver reigns into 3-ball. National champions in.
Cam Oliver, his 3rd 3 on the night. He's just quietly going about his business.
Hurt misses from downtown.
Just keeping an eye on Xavier Cooks. I think he might be coming out here soon with the subs that are in. He's labouring a little bit on that left knee. He's trying to play through. And it looked like not a bad hyperextension. You never know what goes on in the knee, but it just looked like it was uncomfortable.
Glover from way downtown.
They've got weapons, man. They've got weapons all over the floor. But if I'm Sean Bruce or Isaiah Liafa, next time the Phoenix get it, it might be worth just getting a whistle here.
Oliver comes up short. Phoenix by 11. Biggest lead of the game that they have had. Oh, Lewis misses the dunk with the left hand. Bruce back the other way. That one won't go. He's still racing up and down the floor.
Yeah, the Phoenix have sustained it and really pushed the pace even further on the Sydney Kings. This is a credit to them. I made the joke during the NBL roundtables we were doing that they might just be able to score more points than their opposition. I think they're proving that right now. Giving up 95, but they've put up 100.
Oliver with the giveaway. Straight to Lewis. Glover again. They keep it alive. A frenetic period in this game has got us under 4 minutes remaining. Almost out of nowhere.
Kings are very flat, Horse.
Yeah, I'm watching that. There's Matt Hurd, a timeout from Brian Gorgian. Former Blue Devil having a bit of fun. I noticed in the last couple of minutes that the Sydney Kings look gassed.
Oh, here we go.
The Phoenix.
Tommy and Cam Oliver having something to say.
David and Sophie saying your huddle's up the other end, mate.
A little bit of spice in this one.
Because when Cam Oliver turned the ball over, Tommy said something. And Tommy's always going to be the first one to instigate something.
Nice to have a little bit of chirp and spice in this game. You can rise with the Phoenix this season. Get your tickets at Ticketex. Scan the QR code on your screen. They open up with a home throwdown against Melbourne United after they play Perth in the opening round of the season. And as you can see, they've got 108 points on the board. They are a very exciting prospect this campaign. The team in green. 108.95, just under 4 minutes remaining in this one. On night 5 of the NBL Blitz, proudly presented by Experience Gold Coast. It's yours to experience here on the Gold Coast. To see whether Xavier Cooks, he just gets shuffled down toward the bench. And that might be the last we see of the MVP.
Just to make sure it's okay, but Cam Oliver still having a bit of a laugh. We know he picked up a technical foul earlier. But yeah, the one thing that stood out, especially in the second half, the conditioning of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix is exceptional at this point in the season. For them to be not just keeping up with the pace of the Kings, but pushing it even faster at times and not slowing down is very impressive.
That's a bit of a shout out to Mitch Fuller, who is USSC. He was with us at the Kings, so it's weird to see other people in like the just different, colours.
Southeast Melbourne Kings, you called it.
That was you. I just agreed on the record so people don't, write a story about it.
15-point lead to the Phoenix, a game high. Liafa buries it.
It's going to count. Oh, Foxwell he's stunned. And there's no need, if you're Mike Kelly, to even look at challenging this because he made the three. At most, you're saving his one free throw. He thought about it. No, look here on the replay, just a little slap. And assistant coach is saying, even if we did challenge it, just don't need to do it. That's a real smart play from Liafa.
Gets the bonus as well.
Southeast have done a great job this second half. They've only allowed the Kings, I think it's 31 second half points, which is good. Instead of giving them 68 in the first halls when we thought they were up for a 140-point game.
Oh, Galloway with a big denial on Hunter. Swats it away from the big man. Liafa probing. Tui in attack mode.
Oh, Geordie.
Geordie Hunter's helped it in. Once upon a time. Probably not what he had dialed up on this occasion. So back to single digits, the gap. Sobey puts it back to 12. Gee, they've played some exciting basketball in this second half, the Phoenix.
Very, very impressed, and again, not worried about their offensive firepower. It's just the defensive end. Will they be able to contend giving up 100 plus a night? Probably not. But this is what I expected to see once they finally gave a bit more effort in the game in terms of that match simulation in the regular season. So this has been really great to see.
See the referees just hurrying things along there as the South East Melbourne team went to huddle up. So 113 is the biggest score we've had at this edition of the Blitz for the South East Melbourne Phoenix. So, I mean, we knew we were on pace when Sydney had 60-odd points with 5 minutes remaining left in the second quarter. We just thought it might have been the Kings that would do it rather than the Phoenix. Hunter to Lewis. Spurgeon out there for the Kings. The Arthur's a little bit strong on that one. I hope that is good news for Cooks on the knee front. For South East Melbourne having put all their chips on the table for tonight's game. They've hit the jackpot as far as this second half performance has gone. 113 to 101 with just over a minute remaining. You can get NBL 25 ready. Scan the QR code on your screen for your chance to win NBL tickets, a signed jersey of the team of your choice, $130 NBL store gift voucher, and a 3-month KO pass as well. Scan the QR code for your chance to win and get ready for NBL 25, which is going to be a massive campaign. Great to have DJ Vasiljevic part of the call this evening.
Well, it's good to be back in this chair, that's for sure. Hopefully a few more games throughout the season with the both of you and the commentary team, so I look forward to it.
Looking forward to seeing your 36ers back in action later this week, and then of course that first game of the season against the Sydney Kings. It's going to be absolutely massive.
Are we hoping that the new star signing can make that? I know we don't know how long it'll all take.
He'll be suited up. I think he gets in on Saturday afternoon.
That's exciting.
He's kind of played in the system before, obviously. Mike Wells in the NBA type system. Oh, it's on me.
Had Matt Weston on earlier, and he just described him of the NBA version of Zylan Cheatham.
Yep.
Which is it's a nice comparison.
You got to keep bigger than that too, though.
Keep in mind, 4 or 5 years ago, he was 6th man of the NBA.
So I think it was 3 years ago.
No, it was during the COVID year.
2020.
When he was with the Clippers.
So 4. So I'm closer.
I said 4 or 5, you said 3, but okay.
He said 5 or 6.
So time winding down here. Spurgeon can't get on the board. And the South East Melbourne Phoenix rack up the highest score we've seen at this NBL Blitz so far. 113 points. They hold the Kings very quiet in this second half. Just the 33 second half points from Sydney after a profligate first half with 68.
Tell you what though, just quietly, sorry Joel, but on that last rebound, Nathan Sobey, he came up holding his calf. Hopefully that's just nothing at all. We know Taron Armstrong's now out for 3 weeks. It was very minor, but keep an eye on that.
By all reports, probably wasn't going to play later in the week. In any case, and you never know, of course, we saw Xavier Tooks, we saw Parker Jackson Cartwright in the earlier game with a dislocated finger on his left hand too. So hopefully there's not too many injury issues, but you get, of course, all the news on NBL app and nbl.com.au over the next couple of days. So 113-101. Joe Wieskamp had 24 points for the Phoenix on 8 of 10 shooting. Nathan Sobey had 20 on 7 of 11 shooting. As a team, they shot 54%, and they were 14 of 35 from downtown. The Sydney Kings, Alex Tui, that was a really impressive performance from the next star. 26 points, 8 of 10. He was importantly 4 of 4 from downtown, so he did not miss from that range. 19 points for Cam Oliver tonight for the Sydney Kings. But a much improved second half performance from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. They showed some good signs, Pete.
They did, and again, we questioned could they keep it up the entire game with the pace the Sydney Kings like to play their athletes. They absolutely could, and they pushed it even faster. And as I mentioned, big credit to their conditioning. Their conditioning, if you're going to play at that pace, was exceptional.
And great signs out of Joe Wieskamp as well. We saw some dunks, we saw plenty of threes. Matt Hurt hit a couple as well, but Wieskamp in particular showed us a bit of what he can do.
That's exactly what he can do. That's exactly what he has to do. There was no need to be concerned with everything we saw in the earlier pre-seasons. In the pre-season games, because he's got a reputation as a shooter, so a couple of bad games, just getting accustomed to a new country and a new style of play. Shouldn't be anything to worry about, but they're going to be fun to watch, both these teams.
Absolutely are. How do you think you'll match up against the Phoenix on Friday night, DJ?
It'll be interesting. I think we'll go over film today to see, obviously, what they did well. And, yeah, I look forward to a good shoot-around and kind of... I think we'll still play it out like we would in a real actual game, just because we need kind of that in-game kind of reputation with lineups and whatnot. And obviously Sunday didn't play today, so hopefully we get him back. It was just maintenance. He had a bit of a corky, so just get everyone back out there, get the young guys, a nice little burn, and yeah, prepare for round one, because the NBL is 1 week away, baby.
So based on what you've seen from them tonight, what do you think those areas of focus will be from Mike Wells and the coaching staff?
Just how they spread the floor, they move it well. Just in that second half, how they're going from one side to the other, and just controlling their own tempo, I guess. So it'll be interesting, and everyone can score. I mean, I think they've got 1 to 9 players on their team that can score at any time. So yeah, it'll be a good game, and great to be here at the Blitz, because it is my first time. So to finish it up on Friday, it'll be good.
113-101 is the final score. As Southeast Melbourne get their opening win of the Blitz campaign, the Kings go to 1-1. Southeast Melbourne 1-1 as well. So Adelaide 2-0, and Brisbane 2-0 also out of the early games. So the Logan Bruton's Cup is going to come right down to the wire. That is for sure. So night 5 of the NBL Blitz is in the books. 113-101. The Southeast Melbourne Phoenix get it done over the Sydney Kings. From a Kings perspective, Pete, they opened up really strong in that first half. 68 points in that first half. They could have probably had more. What did you take away from the Kings tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me, and you can't read too much into the preseason, I know, because certain rotations, matchups, but the way we've seen them play in the first 3 games, they had the game against New Zealand and the close scrimmage and the 2 so far in the Blitz. What's their plan B? We haven't seen it yet. They're still trying to get their plan A exceptional, which is they're going to full court press as much as they can. Ball Clo's going to get up in Sean Bruce, Isaiah Liafa, and as soon as a miss, score, whatever, they're going to take off. Their plan B is most likely that half-court game, and if they want to slow it down, I'm very intrigued to see, one, what that is, and if it is that, how that looks.
They're going to be a fascinating watch throughout the course of the season. Just how that roster and the group unfolds.
Yeah, obviously they're picked to win it all from them experts. Jules, I think that's you. But no, it'll be good. Obviously, we play them round 1. They're very deep, can play. Everyone can play, and obviously they didn't have Jalen Adams and Quatnoy today. So how you integrate them into these lineups is, I think Gorge has got one more game to kind of figure it out, and yeah, bring on game 1 against the Adelaide 36ers.
It's spot on, and it's always good to have a player up here as well. So you quoted me into that. It was something else.
DJ, good to see you. All the very best for what's to come here at the Blitz, and we look forward to hearing more of you throughout the season and seeing plenty more of you as well.
I appreciate it. It was good to come on here and just talk. And yeah, I think Jules is going to be my mentor, leading into a life off the court. No, I didn't quote that one, so
thank you. I appreciate it.
Love that, Jules. Good to see you as always. Safe travels back tomorrow.
You too.
It's been terrific fun here on the NBL Blitz in the Gold Coast. The fun continues tomorrow. 2 more games. So Melbourne Illawarra 5 o'clock Eastern before Cairns and Perth is the 7:30 game tomorrow. So much more to come here from the NBL Blitz. For now, though, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, they get the job done by 12 and they join the Adelaide 36ers as winners tonight. Thanks for your company. Join us tomorrow 5 o'clock Eastern for Day 6 here at the NBL Blitz.
Thank you.